Mel Haber is truly a one-of-a-kind personality. We hope you will enjoy this insight into the boss. He is best known for his quick wit, thousands of stories, and of course, his smile that is never-ending. Good morning, Mr. Haber.
Good morning.
Do you have any interesting tidbits for our listeners and viewers?
Many years ago, a famous local author by the name of Sidney Sheldon, and I shouldn't say local author, international famous author by the name of Sidney Sheldon, was getting a star on our Walk of Fame in Palm Springs. And my manager suggested, being that Mr. Sheldon was a frequent customer of Melvin's restaurant, why don't we invite him for dinner the night of the day that he's getting the star as our guest? I thought that was a great idea. So I found his address in Beverly Hills, and I sent him a letter stating that in honor of his getting a star, it would be our pleasure to host him for dinner that evening. 2 days later, I come in and there's a reservation on the books for 20 people with Sidney Sheldon Friday night at 7 o'clock. Needless to say, I was about to brain the manager for making that suggestion. But I'm stuck. There's nothing I could do about it. 20 people when I only intended to invite 2. 2 days later, after the event, Sidney Sheldon came in for dinner with 20 people. And 2 days later, I got the letter back that I sent. He had never received the letter, and unbeknownst to me, he paid for the dinner for 20 people. Years later, I showed him that letter and told him what happened. And he said, I guess you owe me dinner for 20. One of my favorite stories is called Big Spender. There was a young man that came to town from Seattle, Washington. And we called him a big spender. He always liked to play big shot. In those days, we had an Afro-American man work the men's room, where he put out the combs and the brushes and the aftershave lotion. At the same time, we had an Afro-American piano player. Well, one night, as would happen, the man from the men's room was about to leave when Big Spender pulls up in his big Cadillac with a young lady that he was with that evening, and he sees the man standing, waiting to leave. And he said to him, where are you going? And he said, I'm leaving. Big Spender takes $100 out and gives him and says, can you hang around another hour? The man from the men's room says, yes, sir, goes right back to the bathroom. He thinks he's the piano player. Big Spender comes in a restaurant, goes down to the men's room and says, what are you doing here? He said, you just gave me $100 to hang around for another hour. Big Spender comes up screaming, Mel, I just made a mistake. I gave the guy in the bathroom $100 thinking he was the piano player. The next day, 6 waiters left an application on my desk to work the men's room. A friend of mine are having lunch one day, and he was very big on looking up this website called IMDb, which is everybody in show business's credentials. And he takes a look and he says, I didn't know you made a movie. I said, I never made a movie. He said, you made a movie. I said, Larry, I never made a movie. He said, no, you were in a movie called The Passions of Howard Hughes. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. It must be another Melvin Haber. He said, okay. So being curious, when I went home, I went on Amazon and I looked up a documentary called The Passions of Howard Hughes. And I ordered it. And it was a documentary done by his wife. And I got the DVD, and lo and behold, on this documentary on Howard Hughes, there I am in 4 different places telling stories I knew about Howard Hughes, although I had never personally met him. I have no recollection of having made that documentary, but it is me, and I guess I have credit for appearing in a movie.